Erik ten Hag's transfer admission proof of major change at Manchester United, and the chaos over the takeover of United not helping the manager and summer transfer plans. It is being reported that Erik ten Hag would prefer Qatari bidder Sheikh Jassim thani to take over, as there will be no concerns about the budget for the huge transfers needed for United to compete against the likes of Europe's elite such as Man City and Real Madrid. Of an otherwise brilliant first transfer window under Erik ten Hag, Manchester United's only major blemish last summer came in failing to convince Frankie de Jong of a move to Old Trafford. Ten Hag was keen on signing his Dutch compatriot from the moment he arrived in Manchester, intent on adding a world-class number 8 to his ranks as early as possible. United and Barcelona had agreed a €65 million fee as far back as July, but a combination of problems blocked the move from developing any further. As significant a factor as any was the money owed to de Jong in deferred wages, and that was often cited as the source of any delay. But it is also true that the midfielder did not want to leave the Nou Camp. As he admitted last September, United are preparing for another summer of investment, with Ten Hag no doubt keen for his side to make their mark in the Champions League, should they qualify. But to improve the quality of his squad, he of course must attract the best players possible. For de Jong, the pull wasn't there, and that has been the case all too often in recent years. A team struggling to find its identity or present any long-term plan will not attract players with the ambition to compete for major honors. Fortunately for United, Ten Hag has instilled both this season. I see a big difference in comparison with last year, the Reds boss admitted earlier this week. There were a lot of reservations last year when I spoke with players, and now many players see the project, what's going on, the dynamic, and the ambition in this project, the quality especially. They are really keen to come. I've noticed that. It looks like there were a lot of reservations last year, a lot of doubts when we approached players. This year, many quality players really want to come. The United of yesteryear had their pick of players, the pull of a regular title challenge and European football enough to convince the vast majority of their targets that Old Trafford was the place to be. That pull has weakened in recent seasons, with Champions League football not guaranteed and genuine title challenges a distant memory. But in that sense, the club aren't in a wholly dissimilar position. They could feasibly not finish in the top 4 and are some way off both Manchester City and Arsenal, despite some premature talk of a challenge earlier this year. What has changed is the sense of order and of ambition under Ten Hag, the sense that this is a project and it is actually going somewhere that will convince world-class players to come to Old Trafford, and those players can help push the club to the next level. In other news, Man United could be about to give Alejandro Garnacho a special new shirt number. Manchester United star Alejandro Garnacho came off the bench to score in his side's 2-0 win over Wolves on Saturday afternoon. Over the years, many special players have worn the number 7 at Manchester United. From George Best to Eric Cantona, David Beckham to Cristiano Ronaldo, it's a jersey that means more than any other at Old Trafford. And Alejandro Garnacho could be its next occupant, with the 18-year-old clearly on the path to superstardom following his heroics off the bench against Wolves on Saturday. Manchester United weren't at their scintillating, swashbuckling best against Wolves as they looked to boost their hopes of a top 4 finish. But they got the job done, with goals from Anthony Martial and Garnacho giving them all 3 points. For Garnacho, it was quite a day. After 2 months out injured, he was thrown on in the closing stages, with Erik ten Hag challenging the youngster to make his mark. By the time the game ended, it was clear he passed his manager's test with flying colors. Garnacho took his goal excellently in the closing stages, showing composure beyond his years as he curled an effort in off the post to spark jubilant celebrations around the ground. He picked up a yellow card for taking his shirt off, but this was a moment of jubilation for the Argentine, especially given his injury torment. United have a superstar on their hands. He is a player capable of going right to the very top, providing he stays grounded and continues to follow orders. Ten Hag knows this, which is why the Dutchman drove the decision for the forward to recently sign a bumper new contract at the club. At present, Garnacho sports the number 49, having been given a shirt number promotion at the beginning of the season. With each and every game he plays, however, he's looking increasingly like a natural fit for the famous, iconic number 7 instead. Garnacho wants it. Last month, he liked a message on Twitter calling for the 18-year-old to be given the jersey that means more than any other at the club. He is already more effective than the likes of Jadon Sancho and Anthony despite his young age, and giving him the number 7 could even be a way of escalating his vast potential, giving him a confidence that he'll make the very top of the sport. Of course, United could feasibly give it to a summer signing instead. It remains vacant following the departure of Ronaldo back in November, with Edinson Cavani donning the number before the Portugal international. But Garnacho is the natural fit, and his performances show he's ready to follow in the footsteps of Ronaldo, who has been his idol throughout his brief career so far. Speaking after the win over Wolves, meanwhile, Ten Hag hailed the teenager for his dazzling cameo. He came in and did almost everything good and scored a great goal that will give him belief. He said, "It's good for us for the rest of the season that he's back and can have an impact. I'm happy we can bring in young players, and hopefully he will progress so quickly that he can compete for a starting position, because that is his next challenge." When asked what Garnacho needed to do in order to become a starter, he added, "Making decisions, being aware, scanning situations, when to go one-on-one, get behind, when to go for goal or make an extra pass. Decisions like that are what makes a good player a top player. That is the difference. But when you see it overall, he's a huge talent and very brave." If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash the like button and make sure to subscribe to Man United Hub to get all the latest updates. Get